Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Inside Elections. The date is Saturday, February 7th, 2026, and today we're going to be talking about this news coming out of the state of Florida that Republicans might not be able to gerrymander the state of Florida ahead of the 2026 midterms. So what is happening is the Florida voters are suing the state of Florida and Governor DeSantis and over this redistricting because Florida Republicans are attempting to redistrict and gerrymander the state of Florida for the Republican Party to mitigate Democrats' representation in the state of Florida in the 2026 midterms. Now, this comes after last month, January 7th, 2026, Governor Ron DeSantis called for a special session in the state of Florida to redistrict the state of Florida to give Republicans an extra 3 to 5 seats in the state of Florida away from the Democrats as an ongoing addition to the nationwide redistricting war that Republicans are gerrymandering seats in the states of Texas, Missouri, North Carolina, and same thing with Democrats in the state of California in response to Republicans. To get one up on this lead, because Democrats are very closely following behind Republicans in these states, Republicans are trying to gerrymander the state of Florida to expand that lead, to give Republicans an extra 3 to 5 seats ahead of the 2026 midterms to possibly negate losses that they know that they're going to suffer in the midterms. And why this is so important and why I believe this is relevant is because of who is suing them. Who's suing them is the Elias Law Group, the Elias Law Group. This is a law group a very left-leaning law group who sues for voter equality, for democracy, etc. And they have been very successful in the past when it comes to suing Republican states over gerrymandering and in turn getting Democrats their fair representation in Republican states. For example, in the state of let's start with the state of Alabama. They were mostly behind. They didn't completely run this. They weren't completely behind this news like they were in other states. For South Alabama, in 2022, Alabama had. Let me find it. Let me show you. This was the congressional map in the state of Alabama. It was extremely gerrymandered. All the Republican districts. Alabama's 5th district, R plus 37. Alabama's 4th, R plus 71. Alabama's 3rd, R plus 46. Alabama's 6th, R plus 69. Alabama's 2nd, R plus 40. Alabama's 1st, R plus 68. And then Alabama's 2nd was D plus 29. It was a Democratic vote sink. And the reason it was a Democratic vote sink is because this is a majority black district. Republicans, and as you most likely know, the state of Alabama has a large black population, specifically in the South. In the South, they have a large black population who tends to vote for the Democratic Party. Republicans knew this when they drew this map, and because they didn't want to give Democrats representation, they sunk black voters in the state of Alabama into Alabama 7th to negate the representation, to disenfranchise their voting rights. And that's where the Elias Law Group came in to this. They sued the state of Alabama for this gerrymandering, and they got it approved. Ahead of the 2024 election, they had the maps redrawn to give Democrats, to give black voters more representation in the state of Alabama. They're successful. Same exact thing goes in the state of Louisiana. In 2022, this was the map in Louisiana. Once again, extremely gerrymandered. All the Republican districts, Louisiana's 1st, R plus 48, R plus 67, R plus 52, R plus 53, uncontested, and then one Democratic vote sink, D plus 53. And once again, that's because this vote sink is a majority black district. And Democrats and black voters were sunk into this district to negate their vote, to disenfranchise their vote. And once again, the Elias Group stepped in and said, "You are not going to do this. You're not going to disenfranchise voters based on race." And they got the maps redrawn. They got Democrats in extra district, and black voters in extra district for the Democratic Party in the state of Louisiana. And one more, I promise, and then I'll get into more of this Florida news. They also just recently, about a week or two ago, they sued in the state of New York for disenfranchising, I believe it was Latino voters in Staten Island, New York City. This is the only Republican district in New York City, and it is going to be redrawn very soon. The deadline was actually today So there'll be some news coming out of that pretty soon. Actually, the deadline was yesterday. We'll see what comes out of this. That the New York Independent Commission is going to redraw this map to not disenfranchise Latino voters, I believe it was, and this will in turn give Democrats an extra seat. And the Elias Law Group was behind this. Okay, I swear I've talked about this for way too much. Now you kind of have a little bit of background of why the Elias Law Group is effective. And now they are suing in the state of Florida. They're suing the state of Florida because Florida is trying to redistrict for the Republican Party to disenfranchise Democrats in the state of Florida, saying that you are not going to gerrymander Florida. Florida in 2010 by over 60% passed a constitutional amendment saying that you are not allowed to gerrymander the state of Florida for one specific political party, either way, to the left or to the right. You're not allowed to gerrymander for the state of Florida. And that's sort of what they're suing over. They're also suing over that, saying that DeSantis does not have the right to call a special session for redistricting. And they're saying, pretty much as a whole, they're blocking Republicans, attempting to block Republicans to block Ron DeSantis from redistricting in the state of Florida to give Florida Republicans extra seats and to negate Democratic representation to disenfranchise Democratic voters in the state of Florida. And the reason this is so important is because a similar thing happened in Virginia. The Virginia court ruled that Virginia's redistricting is unconstitutional. Virginia is trying to redistrict in response to Florida trying to redistrict to negate the winnings that Republicans are trying to get in the state of Florida. I'm going to show you the map in just a minute. I'm going to explain this real quick. In Virginia, Democrats are trying to redraw the maps to give Democrats in the state of Virginia extra representation to gerrymander the state of Virginia in response to Republicans gerrymandering the states of Texas, Missouri, North Carolina, soon to be Florida. They're trying to gerrymander this to make it a 10-1 map compared to the 6-5 map it is, but it's facing challenges in court. And if this Florida news did not happen, Democrats would be stuck with being behind however many seats Republicans were to gerrymander in the state of Florida, if that makes sense. I want to show you the status of the nationwide redistricting war. I'm going to clear this real quick. Sorry. So this all started last year in 2025 in Texas with Greg Abbott and Donald Trump trying to redraw the state of Texas to give Republicans in the House of Representatives 5 extra seats. These aren't the actual seats. They're just easy to click 5. Republicans are gaining 5 seats out of the state of Texas through gerrymandering that Democrats previously held. Same thing, not Arkansas, sorry. Same thing happened in the state of Missouri. They gerrymandered this Democratic district out of the state of Missouri to negate Democrats' representation in in Kansas City, sorry. Then same thing in the state of North Carolina. They gerrymandered this Democratic district of the state of North Carolina to further gerrymander the already extremely gerrymandered state of North Carolina. I mean, Republicans have 10 seats. Democrats have no chance at winning these seats pretty much whatsoever. Yet they still get 50%, roughly 48, 49, 50% vote in the state of North Carolina. So that's where it was at. Republicans at 7 seats, Democrats at 0. However, Democrats fought back. In California, they said, hey, if you're going to gerrymander your states, I'm going to gerrymander my state. So they gerrymandered California for the Democratic Party and got them 5 seats. Then they sued. I keep accidentally clicking district, sorry. Then they sued in the state of Utah to get Democrats an extra seat in Utah because the Utah map also disenfranchised Democratic voters in Salt Lake City, because this is where Salt Lake City is, and they split it amongst Utah's 4 districts to negate representation in the state of Utah. Democrats sued, they won, they're getting a safe Democratic district out of the state of Utah, and as I just showed you, same Democrats have sued in the state of New York and are going to get another extra seat out of the state of New York, which brings it to 7-7. That's where we are currently at the state of the redistricting war, with Republicans trying to steal 2026 or Democrats fighting back so that they can't steal 2026. It is at a 7-7 stalemate. And that's where Republicans came in the state of Florida, trying to redistrict in Florida to give Republicans an extra 3 to 5 seats. We'll say 5 seats. And Democrats were going to try to fight back by redistricting in the state of Virginia and Maryland to give Democrats extra seats these would be 5 seats to counteract this once again. However, Maryland's iffy on if they're going to pass the map. The Virginia map got struck down, and it looks like the Florida map might as well get struck down if what we're seeing is going to come to light, which brings the map back to 7-7 to the redistricting war is now even. That Republicans started. Democrats are not going to lose the House of Representatives because of this, because the Elias Law Group is suing in the state of Florida because Republicans are trying to steal the election. They're trying to gerrymander and rig to steal the 2026 midterms because they know that they are going to lose the House majority any other way if they do not do that. Okay, that's enough of my yapping. What are your thoughts on this news? Do you think Democrats are in the right to redistrict? Do you think Republicans are in the right to redistrict? Do you think Democrats are in the right to sue this redistricting? Sorry. Do you think Republicans are in the right to redistrict? What are your thoughts on the nationwide redistricting war? What do you think? If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, to like this video. It helps a lot, to turn on notifications so you can see exactly when I upload. And yeah, hope you have a great day.